Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So surprisingly, my youngest son, Andrus Prime, actually pointed out that even though you haven't finished the entire episode, you can actually challenge the hard and very hard Mementos dungeons. So this is my actual first time running in blind, so I do apologize if it looks like I'm not really knowing where I'm going, because honestly, I don't know where I'm going. And so hopefully you will join me through this little journey and we'll learn the map together. Now if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me. Now just like episode 1 Symphony, if you sneak up where you're going behind the enemy, you'll automatically stun them. Also, keep in mind that you do have to do this dungeon over and over again to gather enough points to unlock 3 chant scripts, just like most side episode quests. So not only do you want to kill, of course, 100 every mob to get all the achievements that way, you also will have to collect the points in order to kind of unlock some of those chant script rewards, chrono stones, there's some luring shadow or some guiding light, so on and so forth. Now in terms of the format, I'm not really sure how many chests there are in this area. I don't believe it's a 2-1-3 standard, so we'll have to see together and find out. So far, I think I've only seen the one here. And you can let me know in the comments below how your grinding has progressed in this particular area of the story. I'm planning to just burn my keys here and see where it leads before continuing on with the main story. So I apologize ahead of time if I don't finish the main story tonight. There's obviously a lot of grinding when any new update comes out. Also, if you check out the subreddit on Another Eden, you do have to run this dungeon a number of times in order to unlock Skull as a 5-star. I believe the number is 12 times. Also, another advantage of running this particular dungeon is that you do have the chance to increase the shadow of all 4 P5 characters. So in this case, I don't have the other 2 characters, yes? So we do have a same thing, 1 in 5 or 20% chance of increasing shadow for either Joker or Morgana. And you'll see later on in this video, at the end, how we can choose which one to upgrade. So in terms of the mechanics, these warp things are very similar to the Sealed Realm, and also very similar to the Sealed Realm. You can see the enemies and opt to skip on them if you need to. The enemies are in their 60s, and so for people who are newer to the game, this will be roughly, a little bit of a rough go and a little bit challenging. Now, if you played Eden for any length of time and have a team of level 80s, then you're going to walk through this like a breeze. I think you could just use the Joker Morgana combo to farm it up. That means keeping Morgana in front, rotating like right here, getting the VC with Joker, and it'll deal a ton of damage. I do have a lot of non-elemental Grasta, which you can get after finishing chapter 55 in the game and going through the dungeons there. And you can actually increase the damage of Joker's VC if you continue playing the game. So you can see that first area only did have the 1 chest. I did double back just to make sure. And whereas this one has a number of chests. So like I said, the 2-1-3 doesn't seem to apply here. That being said, we're going to fully explore each and every level to make sure we don't miss anything. I will say that these warp zones are a little bit confusing. It's just a little bit annoying in the fact that it doesn't give you an exact guide as to where to go. However, I'm sure that as I run through this a number more times, it'll come more naturally. So I just have to backtrack there just to make sure we didn't miss anything, and then we'll go back this way. Now if you see the length of this particular video, it's about 8 minutes long, so it's not too terribly long, even after killing all the mobs, which I'm going to do just for completion's sake, just to kind of show you what's up here. So we're just about finished this, and we're going to warp on to the next area here. Okay, so it looks like these are the paths by which you can choose where to finish up and upgrade your character. So you can see that the far left one is for Joker. I believe the middle 2 are for Skull and Violet, and the far right here is for Morgana. So let's start with Joker for now and kind of see where we're headed. And you can see we cannot backtrack unlike the earlier parts of this dungeon. I believe that as you run through this a number of times, they'll give you missions which you can use to kind of earn rewards and finally eventually earn Skull. So as my progress continues on this, I will upload those videos as well. Hopefully you guys are having fun with the new update. Like I said, lots of things to do, although, you know, the grind is real, of course. I would say the storyline probably isn't a lot to do. My understanding is mostly just story and very little fighting, so the majority of fighting will be here. And there is apparently a super boss optional that we'll have to take on in the near future. So hopefully I'll get to tackle that sometime later on this week. Okay, so we can just warp on here. You can see all the mobs here are glowing blue for us. If you have a red one or an orange one, obviously those are more challenging ones, and they're the color of them, just in case you didn't know, is based on what the game deems the difficulty level of yourself versus the enemies. Okay, looks like we left one behind, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to go back and hunt down the last little enemy and make sure no one survives. I'm a completionist that way, if you haven't figured it out by now. Most of the games I do play when I was younger, as well as when I play these kind, I really try to do the completionist thing. You know, even when I did play Final Fantasy back in the day, I did try to get all the 3 weapons, the Emerald, Ruby, so on and so forth. I grinded all those materia to like level 99, you know, characters, and man, it's been a long time, but yeah, I spent hundreds of hours on those back when I was younger. Nowadays, of course, you know, real life gets in the way, and of course we don't have quite as much time to grind all those things. But in the case of Eden, I'm sure you all know by now, but the great thing about Eden is that you can pick it up and put it down if needed. And once you get to a certain point in the game, you really can run some of these keys fairly quickly. Okay, so we look like we're at the last boss here, so let's just see what the challenge is here. So being that the dungeon itself is about level 65 or so, I would imagine this boss is probably in the level 70-ish or so, has a lot of HP, just like most bosses. You can see that even the VC and a couple of hits didn't do too much damage. So let's just end this right here with a turn 2 AF and see if we have enough damage. Doesn't look from early you know, tests here that there is any resistance or weaknesses, and that would kind of make sense, being that really this is just to introduce both new and old players to the game, and I'm sure they don't want to have it where your moves are resisted and you're not able to do a lot of damage, because that would kind of defeat the enjoyment aspect of the game. And after all, they do want to draw in more players to the game, both like I said, veterans like ourselves, as well as new players who are interested in the P5 series. Of course, 10 more Severus gems, and you do need 120 light or shadow to get the max rewards. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.